Good morning, everyone. So it's still cold here in Les Arbres, but a beautiful day. Complete blue sky. The sun's just coming up, and there's ice everywhere. It's probably my battery's on the outside thermometer's not working, but I think it's about -3, something like that. So it's all good. I'm not sure how many people are going to be here Sunday morning in Europe at 9 o'clock. Probably sleeping in, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Always something happening here, and crikey's I started thinking about 3 days ago they're going to do 1,000 miles in a week, which is pretty radical. When you think about it, little 5.8 meter plywood. I'll do an Aussie joke here, no disrespect, plywood shitbox. That's a word straight out of the mouth of Sailing Anarchy, which I really love. They take the piss out of it. That's where my claim to fame is I'm the mad bastard. Anyway, they're really hooting along, which is fantastic. So they're going to be there pretty quick. Certainly sometime, maybe on the 10th, whatever. Anyway, we'll wait and see. So they are moving fast while we're waiting. What's these pictures about? I made another decision last night. Nothing to do with sales. We've already told you that. But some people wonder what the deal is with the A5, A3, and A7. So this is the three sails joined together. Okay. And in fact, this is a preliminary drawing that a preliminary design we had. So this red one is effectively the A7. It's kind of ironic because the bigger the number, the smaller the sail. It's an asymmetric sort of sail. It flies as spinnaker because of the draft and stuff, but we don't have to worry about those technicalities. If you're watching the Sydney Hobart, we can do anything we want because we don't have racing rules. Anyway, the red one is the A7. The greeny one is the A5, and then the smallest number, which is the A3, is this really big one, right, that's on there. And this isn't quite correct because the A7, the smallest one, we did actually decrease the size of it a little bit off this graphic here. And so that's looking at it broadside on. And if we go there, you can see the difference in shape, which is why the A7, the last one we set up, is so versatile. You can use it it's cut pretty flat, and so you can use it as a big head sail, like a light head sail, if the wind is forward of the beam, well forward of the beam. The A5 at the back there is a bit of a combination. It's smaller, slightly stronger cloth, right? The A7 has got the strongest cloth of the lot. It's about 2.5 ounce, I think, something like that. So it can take a fair bit of breeze, although I'm horrified when I see some of them sailing and they're running their A7 and it's blowing like 30 knots, I'm just waiting for it to pop. So it was never meant to be running in those numbers. The original concept, I knew there was a hole between we needed, sometimes I'd be running the A5 with a jib poled out downwind in the trades, but the jib was a little bit small, but I couldn't put the A5 and the A3 up together because that was too big, right? So there was that hole there. I thought, we need something for running downwind in the trades, heavy trades, and sort of with the wind forward of the beam in stronger winds, but not like going to windward or anything. And that's how the A7 evolved, this red one here. So anyway, that gives you an idea when they talk about they just put a hole in the A3, right, which is the biggest one. Don't ask me why the numbers go reverse. You'd think that would be the A7 and this would be the A3, but it's not, right? That's the sail that they've actually popped. So, because I know some of you get a bit confused on that. And why is this here? Well, it's all got to do with cameras. If you film the adventure, you can show people what's going on. If you've only got pictures, you can only talk about it. And there's a huge difference in what's going on. There's some of the entrants are filming a lot, which is fantastic because that'll cut it into a really great story at the end. Some are filming less, just taking photographs. And some are doing vertical like this, which is you can't use in a film, but you can use it's just a grab of the video. And this is sort of like horizontal or landscape. That's the way you make your films, So we're getting a lot more vertical than our horizontal. And in the GGR, we're just about to. We've been talking a lot about cameras. We focus a lot on that with the entrants, and it's going to be mandatory on what the camera kit they've got to have. the number of cameras and the type of mounts and all this sort of stuff is mandatory. And guess what? We're going to do the same for the MGR in 2029. So that's another review from the event that's going to go into the notice of race. All the entrants will have a compulsory camera kit. They can choose the models, but it's going to be a minimum of 3 POV cameras, just like GoPros or whatever it is, and a selection of mounts, because people will often buy the cameras, but they'll never have the correct mounts, right? And the mounts are everything. You can always hold the camera and film stuff, but you're not filming yourself. Yes, you can do a selfie and hold it out there. It doesn't matter. But if you've got the cameras and you've got the right mounts, which are just there all the time, you can film some epic stuff very easily. You just have you don't even have to press a button on the camera. You have a remote control. You just press the button and it turns on by itself, and boom. Remote control costs about €14. Less than that. It's nothing. And it allows you to do some really good stuff. And you might have guessed that sometimes the entrants are getting a little bit bored. Most of the time they're not. But you have plenty of time to set up to do the films. And capturing the essence, capturing the moment is really exciting. If you can do it well, you think, oh, wow, look at that. You're making yourself look fantastic because people can see what you're actually doing. Now, if you don't have the mounts, you won't be able to get the shots. And so the entrants in this edition are doing great. We're getting some great stuff, and it's really good. But this is all about helping them, because no one's going to tell me that they want to sail around the world and not capture it in the best possible way. And if you haven't seen my film called McIntyre Knockdown on YouTube, I filmed that in 1990 basically using analog cameras. They weren't even digital. They were analog videos, Video 8 film tapes, like cassette music tapes. You put in the camera and blah, blah, blah. But I was groundbreaking when I did that, and it was very easy to do because I had a mate that we discussed it with and talked it out. I had fixed cameras on the boat. I had mobile cameras. I had wireless transmitting microphones on the boat, which was basically a world first. Even though the gear was there, no one was doing it because it just wasn't what you did. And so if you can... Anyway, it's interesting, and it was used as a training video for the Whitbread races back then. It was the biggest selling marine video in America for about 5 months. It actually made a lot of money out of it. It was quite crazy. But anyway, that was just using basic techniques. And now the stuff that's available, you can go off the planet. And it's not expensive, So there's going to be a guideline. And so it's not... I don't think it's onerous. It's not going to be a problem. Everyone will want to capture their film, and so we'll focus more on that in the next MGR, and we'll probably be doing the same in this 26 Transat to a lesser extent. We'll say, look, you've got to have two cameras, at least 2 cameras, which is not going to cost you a fortune. You can... SJ Cam is the cheapest budget one, DJI and GoPro after that, and it'll mean that they'll have fun filming stuff, and they'll all be able to make their own little films at the end, and, it'll be fun for everyone. So anyway, that's another review. A few people there now. I'll get on to it. It's Sunday morning. Promise not to waffle on. But there are some new... And here's the breaking news. This is amazing. If you're following regularly, if you're one of the regulars here, you're getting all these insights that others don't get. And I mentioned, you better stand by, because I know there's a lot of people out there waiting to buy boats, right? Waiting to buy 580s. And I know there's a lot of people wanting to do the Transat. And I said, look, there's a bunch of boats for sale at the moment, but they're going to go like that, right? 3 boats have just sold. Bang, bang, bang. I'm not going to say who they are because it's pretty confidential. There's some serious sailors there, just out of the blue. I don't think I'm letting anything. One lady just bought a boat, bang. She got 50,000 miles. She's a serious sailor. And this is her dream. And so, anyway... and there's another lady there, and there's all stuff happening. So I am very confident that very soon all the boats that are for sale are going to be sold. So watch out. If you're thinking about it, don't stick around. It was crazy. Jane and I were laughing and said, oh, shit, this is nuts. And there's some really interesting characters jumping in now. So it's all really cool. And I think we're going to see a bit of that. And we're talking to people. Oh, one thing that happened, one guy said, I want to reserve my spot builder. If I want to reserve my spot in the MGR, and he had misunderstood the way it works, right? There's no such thing as reserving your spot in the event. You've got to actually put your entry in and pay your deposit to get there. It's something we use for all of our events. If you want to get into the race, you've got to get in there and pay a non-refundable entry fee, right? And what that does, it tells us that they're really serious about wanting to be there, because once you pay your entry fee, you're going to move heaven and earth to get there, right? Because otherwise, if you don't, you're going to lose your money. And we make that very clear for very obvious reasons. We learnt this in the first Golden Globe race. We had lots of negative impact on that. We had like 45 entrants, paid a couple of grand each to get in. And a lot of sailors thought, oh, I can't get in now. We've got a big wait list, blah, 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 blah. And there was so many sailors just wanted to get in and say, oh, I'm in the GGR, this is great. And they had no intention of following through and building their boat or finding a boat and getting in there. So of that 45 entrants that paid their 2 grand or something, they all just faded away all at the last minute, the last 12 months. And that just stopped people from joining. So that's why we have this sort of unique situation where you pay your entry fee. There is absolutely no refund under any circumstance. And we work with the entrants to get them across the line and lots of stuff. But we don't want to know until you're there. And that keeps it open for those that really are. And we've just opened the little sideline. We've just opened the entries tomorrow for the Golden Globe in 2030. And I think we'll have probably 5 entries tomorrow. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, you can't reserve your spot in the MGR if you want to do it. You really believe you're going to get there in 29. Entries are open now, and you've got to actually put your entry in and pay your entry deposit to hold your spot effectively. So anyway, sideline stuff, let's get into it and see these Speedy Gonzales people that are doing the MGR right now and absolutely flying and having a great time as well. So you're on the tracker, I'm on the tracker, and we'll look at the leaderboard today as well. It's easy to see where they are on this, but it is actually working because it's the leaderboard set up from Cape Town to St. Helena at the moment without any, it's just sea time. So there you can see it. They're over halfway now, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. And Renault will have actually done, by the time we get to today at 2 o'clock local time, Cape Town, or 1200 UTC, will have covered virtually 1,000 miles, which is pretty impressive for all of them. So well done, everybody. Right, what am I doing here? Pick it up, boom, boom, get it up here. You can see the distance from St. Helena before. So Kerry down the back, doing 5.7 and 132 mile day. How does that stack up with the rest of them? The breeze is pretty consistent, looks like, all the way through. He's just about to pass Josh by the look. 108 miles for Josh, 4.3 knots at the moment. Entrant, who just sent me a message, I'll see what that is in a minute. That was that ding. 4.7 knots and 125. So Kerry's catching up slowly. 5.3 for Jasmine, 128. That's pretty cool. 123 for Eric. Jazz is going to pass Eric very soon. You better hurry up, Eric. 5.4 knots. Yeah. Her boat speed was 5.3. So a bit of variance there, but the 24-hour run is the telling tale. Christian, 6 knots, 136. That's pretty powerful. He's in a hurry. Doesn't want to let Peeler go behind. But check this. Oh, jeepers. This lead group. Hang on. That's the lead group. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the lead group now. So that's the lead pack. The definitions we use. This is the middle pack, and this is the tail enders. So there's 2 tail enders, 3 in the mid pack, and 4 in the lead pack. The way we do it for people that don't know is once the gap becomes clear between the middle pack and the lead pack, that's it. And to join the lead pack, you've got to be, if you do half the distance between, say, Adam and Eric, half the distance is about here. If you're looking at my cursor, anyone that's on the other side of that half distance is in the lead pack. So we've got a big lead pack at the moment. They're not far away. So Christian, 136, that could be the biggest mileage. Adam, 4.8, 125. Jacob, 5.3, 133. Peeler, 5.5, 126. Ooh, Christian might have it. 130 mile day for Dan, 5.4. He was looking a bit relaxed yesterday. In fact, I don't know whether you saw his little video clip there reflecting on where he was, and it's clear he's missing Nikki and the kids wanting to be home, and I think it was going to be an emotional little clip there, and he managed to hold it together during that. But I could sense, I could see what was going on in his head. I think he's, it's a funny thing. I'm not reflecting just on Dan here, but arriving in Cape Town is really a milestone because we all knew the challenges to get there, and now it can be seen by the entrants when the sailing is really easy and they look at what's coming forward. So this is just now a done deal, and you can feel as if it's a done deal, and so it's as if you're, oh, hurry up, I want to get this thing over. It's a funny psychological thing. I've experienced that in a few of my little adventures. All of a sudden, building the boat was exciting and fantastic and frustrating and this, that, and the other. Getting to Portugal, getting into the swing of things, getting to Antigua, it's all new, it's all exciting, blah, 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 blah. Getting all the way across the Indian and the challenges and the Agalas Current, Cape Town, it's like, holy shit, we're here. And then all of a sudden now it's like, this is potentially trade winds all the way. Trade winds not hard. Everything's easy. What's the excitement factor? And that makes you sit back and reflect. And I could really, I sort of got it watching Dan talk about his experience there. Because you look at the forward, what's the next most exciting thing? Oh, yeah, the Carnivale and Recife is going to be good, and there's St. Helena, but there's only St. Helena, which has got a few challenges. And then there's Recife, and they're going to be there for probably not quite 3 weeks, which could be a long time, but it is. Most of them will be 2 and a bit weeks, maybe. And then it's back to Antigua and sort of done. So I really sense that Dan just said, oh, I want to get this thing over with now and get back to it. So it was quite an interesting little video. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. It's on his page. So, okay, 5.4, 130, and Renault, 136. Okay, that's the same as Christian. Never mind, Christian, you were going to be the man today, but it didn't work. 5.8. Now, the interesting one, if we go from there straight to the leaderboard, is what I was saying. This is 8. These are the distances at 800 UTC. All their positions are working there. You can see how they stack up. Pretty straightforward, but here's the irony. If you look at the distance sailed, Renault's done 964 nautical miles distance sailed. He's sailing near enough to 6 knots. Let's just call it 6 knots. There's 4 hours to go before you get to 7 days from the start time, 1200 UTC. 36 miles to go over those 4 hours. Okay, is that right? No, it's only 24. Sorry, my maths are too early in the morning. 6 4s are 24, so 24 miles to go. So that'll be 88. So we will have done 988 nautical miles, which is, in my mind, close enough to 1,000 miles in a week, which is pretty quick. It's a lot faster than the GGR boats. So, that's what they struggle to try and achieve. I should say a lot faster. This is trade winds. Pat Lawless would have been hooting along. So he'd probably do 1,200 miles or something. But anyway, so very impressive speeds for the whole fleet all the way down there. And it's suggesting, hang on, what's the ETAs? But we've got stopovers here. So this is the distance to the finish in Recife. So it's if we maintain that speed all the way through to Recife, you've got to add 7 days. So it's January 22nd that's suggesting. And put 7 in there, that's 29th of January. I'm suggesting they're going to come in and, probably the first or second. The next leg may be slower. So, and then they've got 19 days to wait to the start. So they're going to get a good look at Brazil. Interesting place at the moment. We don't want to talk politics. Let's just say the world's a dangerous place right now. That's all I'll say. Anyway, so and then Dan, so it goes down the line. So they're all going to have a good break in Recife. And I've never been there, but it looks fantastic. The people are friendly. Just got to be a bit careful at times. And the Carnivale is going to be crazy. Anyway, so I'm sure they'll have a big experience with that one. So, what's the current doing? Let's have a look at the current for now. I think it should be pretty straightforward. It's getting, that's interesting. Big blue hole. Did that help, Christian? No. So, anyway, nothing negative on the current, but we sort of knew that. I'll come back because we're going to do the weather. Down here, we'll just push that forward a couple of days. No, nothing spectacular on the current now. Clouds, they're all looking pretty interesting. Lead pack coming into some cloudy stuff. That's interesting. It's clearing, it's running through. So that's just random stuff. May not be so accurate. Oh, in and out, 50-50, so that might help them to not get sunburn. Temperatures will be going up. Waves, they should be sitting there. Yep, all very pleasant. Somewhere between a metre, metre and a half. And in the next, we should be able to see here, in the next couple of days, the sea state is calming down a little bit. Yep, got nice sailing, all trade wind stuff. It never gets boring. So back to the wind, we'll just kick it out a bit. There's St. Helena at the top, and I'm going to push that through every 3 hours now. We're not expecting a big change, but here we go. Trade wind, trade wind, trade wind. Super pleasant sailing. Everyone wants to be there. This is the way sailing looks like in all the picture books. So they don't want to go too far to the right of the course. They want to stay in a bit. Kerry is that. Look at that. Kerry's coming back down now. He's got a slight curve in his track, so he's not wanting to get. It's a really defining line. They want to get back on the run line, or yeah. So anyway, that's through to the 7th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Next few days, more pleasant stuff. They'll slow up a bit. Maybe the 10th they'll arrive. Some of the others will arrive on the 11th. Whatever. So that's about all I can tell you there. So we're nearly running out of it. Okay, so I'm going to hit that and come back here. Hit that there. So if you've just joined, make sure you catch all the rhubarb. I had a big chat at the beginning, and you don't want to miss all that stuff about compulsory camera gear. We haven't got into the issue of the footage. You know, we were saying we wanted to get a certain amount of footage, and some of them are doing it, some not. Anyway, that's life. We'll work with what we get. We're getting way too much vertical because everyone's doing Instagram and things like that, not so much horizontal, but they're all, I'm not complaining, they're all doing a pretty good job. We should be able to put together an interesting film. So thank you for all their efforts. Rightio. Now, what do we got here? We've only got a couple of comments. That's easy. Unless I'm missing a slider. No. Craig, good evening, Craig. Tracker 01. Good morning from Tracker. Overcast today. Don't forget my measurements, Erton. I need that for a rule thing. I'm asking Erton to measure some stuff I need to know. Elsa. G'day, Elsa. It's great to see you too. I forgot that you did 3 circumnavigations. I knew it was a lot, and I forgot because I had a good look over your Facebook page. It's quite interesting. So especially going back with the older pictures, but well done. 3 circumnavigations is pretty impressive. So good to see you there. I'm sure we'll meet up one day because we're probably coming to Darwin. I'm not sure for the next edition, but anyway, we'll see. Anita, thumbs up, little Ren. So great to see you return to Atlantic waters. Absolutely. Gary reeling in the fleet. Yep, absolutely. So all pretty cool. Okay, that's it. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Oh, cheapest. Better give you the entry reports. I'm getting carried away. Good morning from Tracker. Is Earth Investigator. Good morning. Is Tracker for sale? Yet. The Tracker is for sale. He's mentioned the price. Don't forget, you got to fill out the form, Erton, and get on the thing. I'll keep the suspense. I won't mention the price yet, but it's a bargain. She will be shipped to. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's including shipping to. Oh, jeepers, this is a. Hang on. Okay, Tracker's for sale. I'm not going to tell you the price. You're going to have to go to the website and see everything's there. She will be shipped to go to the UK. She will stay afloat in the Solent. Hang on. She will stay afloat so I can use it if not sold. So she's going to be for sale. It's cheap, right? Someone needs to get... Okay, I'll try and sell your boat for you. And if you don't know, Tracker's one of the best boats in the fleet in terms of the rig. It has, without question, the best rig in the world on a 580. Okay, it cost a fortune. It's set up as a round the world rig. It's gone around without any hassle, and it cost over double the price of a sold rig. That explains it. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted here. I need to find WhatsApp first. Sorry, that was WhatsApp, and then I need to go to. I better see what is here. I shall do the measurements as soon as I can. No rush. Anytime today. That's cool. Thank you, Erton. I'm being suspenseful. I'm not telling him how much. I think it's too cheap, but there you go. That'll get people hopping. I've been chatting with Dan from Little B. He's doing well up there. He seems to be very busy doing stuff, so that's good to hear. Entrant reports. Here we go. For yesterday, Tracker. Okay, Tracker. This was yesterday at 4:30, so I think I read that. There's only one unread messages. I think I read Tracker. Tracker's having a relaxing journey so far. They're not sure how, but rarely used A3. I've managed to damage it. Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday. Jasmine, 88. Number 2. Really enjoying this sailing. Just when I thought I'd figured out this sailing thing, I am learning even more. My A3 went for a swim, but no damage. It's really nice to be on a longer passage again to actually get into a routine. Fresh stuff is still lasting and exciting to be nearly passing the full circle from home. Yeah, it's quite crazy, eh? It's going to be quite a shock for everyone. They're all going to be circumnavigators in a what? 5.8 metre plywood box? Jeepers. Okay, that's it. So, why is that one stuck there? I think I'll get it. Yeah. Okay. Have a good Sunday, everybody, and we will see you again hopefully tomorrow. See you later.